Let's get more now on the crisis at Tottenham Hotspur, who are looking for a new manager to lead them through a relegation battle. Let's go back live to Michael Bridge. Michael, news tonight that Robbie Keane would be interested in taking over as Tottenham head coach.
Yes, David, yeah, that is some news, but we also understand that he wouldn't be looking for an interim role. It's also worth saying that there's no indication yet from Tottenham Hotspur that they would be interested in Robbie Keane, but obviously Robbie Keane has done a brilliant job, hasn't he, abroad with the 2 roles he's had so far. But the last few days, Spurs are just taking stock, and obviously the huge news about Thomas Frank being sacked, and Spurs players have got a few days off now ahead of training at the start of next week, and a massive North London derby next Sunday. To talk about all this, I've got Chris Cowlin from the Spurs Chat podcast. Chris, just a line on Robbie Keane. He wouldn't be willing to take an interim role, we understand. Is that someone you've been looking at, Robbie Keane?
Well, I think Spurs definitely need someone that is going to unite the fans right now, because there is so much discontent and there's a lot of frustration. Of course, Robbie Keane is a Tottenham legend here. I think that Spurs could look at him in the future, but as you've said, it's understood that he's not interested in an interim role. So I think the plan now is 33% of the job is done where Thomas Frank has gone out the door. It's now the other 33% is getting in an interim, and then the other 33% in the summer is getting in a permanent appointment. But how many times have we been here?
Can you understand Robbie Keane's point of view? You know, if he kept Spurs up, did all right, then there'd be that worry that Spurs would maybe look elsewhere?
Well, of course, he's very happy and doing a great job at Spurs and Farrell at the moment. So, why would he come in to be an interim right now? He would probably more want to have a permanent position. It's going to be a difficult one. The board have a big job on their hands now to try and make that decision on who is going to keep Spurs in the Premier League, because we've got 12 games left. We're sitting only 5 points above the relegation zone right now, but we've also got those key Champions League games to play as well.
Look, Spurs have, in terms of revenue, the 9th richest in the world. We know there's no PSR issues at the moment as well. Isn't there an argument as well they should look to get a really quality, world-class coach, because relegation's unthinkable?
Yeah, Spurs should always have a world-class coach, and we have had a couple of world-class managers here. Sadly, it hasn't worked. Transfer windows have always been such an issue. Of course, on the overlap today on Sky, Ange Postecoglou saying what he did today about the players that he wanted to bring in after that first season, and we ended up buying Dominic Solanke and 3 teenagers with respect. But how many times have we seen top managers here and they haven't been backed properly, and we haven't brought in that top caliber player? They've always been downgrades instead of players of real quality, and players always for the future rather than players for now.
Would you have given Ange Postecoglou maybe season 3?
I think a lot of people would have given him season 3. I think when that parade here along the high road in May was simply incredible, and when he came out with that line about season 3, I think a lot of people would have given him season 3. But it's all about the backing. Ange Postecoglou put all of the eggs in the basket of the Europa League. He brought success here, what he said that he was going to do. He spoke to the media so many times and said, I'm going to deliver that trophy in my second season. He absolutely did. He proved a lot of people wrong, and he wanted top players in that season. He didn't get them. But he still got Spurs over the line, which, when we talk about world-class managers, we've had world-class managers. They haven't got us over the line and won that trophy. Ange did that.
Wilson Odobert, ACL. Romero out for the next 3 games. Whoever does come in, there aren't much players to choose from, and some forwards will be out for the majority of the season. Whoever comes in, that is a tough job.
It's a tough job, whoever comes in, but I'm sure that they'll be paid a lot of money to come in and keep Spurs in the Premier League. But, we've got to be honest and frank about it, that, there are a lot of quality players in this team, and whoever does come in needs to get the best out of them, instill the confidence, back into those players, and hopefully we can climb away from the relegation zone. But, yeah, it's a huge job for whoever does come here.
So the meeting's going on maybe today in the next few days. If someone said, go on, Chris, let's get a fan's view. That's how we like doing it, don't we? With the fans' opinion. You walk in. What would you say to them? What would your advice be?
I would say bring people in now with passion. Where it means something to Tottenham and where it means something to them. Perhaps ex-players or even ex-managers. I know Tim Sherwood and Harry Redknapp in the last couple of days have come out and said that they want the job. I'm sure that now Thomas Frank has departed Spurs now, I'm sure there'll be a lot more people in the hat putting themselves in the hat for the job. But we need to make the right appointment. The decisions are very tough, but the decisions have to be right, because sadly over the years we've seen so many poor decisions, and we're about to appoint a 7th permanent manager in the 6 years that we have been at this stadium.
Finally, Spurs going to stay up?
Yes, we are going to stay up, yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Positive, yeah. Chris Cowling here. Of course, it's been a tough few days for Spurs. No more Thomas Frank, and some big decisions to be made over the next few days in terms of an interim or a permanent head coach for Tottenham Hotspur.
Thank you, Michael. Well, Chris was pretty clear that Spurs were going to stay up. What's your view of it, Dean?
I mean, they could easily go down. I do think they will stay up, but I think this appointment is so crucial because they have got that slight cushion, and if you factor in goal difference, it's 5 points at the moment, but factor in goal difference as well, that could really come into play at the end of the season. They're quite far ahead in that. This appointment is so vital. Forget about, the future as such. You've got to recognise you're in a relegation battle. You've got some really difficult games coming up. You have to win games that you're probably not expected to in the current state of the playing staff and the injuries. Somebody's got to come in and galvanise the players and the supporters to stay in the Premier League. Then in the summer, I think you reevaluate where the club is at, and if the right appointment's there to take, then you do it then. Right now, you need somebody to come in and keep you in the Premier League.
OK, so let's maybe discuss exactly who that could be. Tim Sherwood, Harry Redknapp said they want it. What kind of manager do they need?
I mean, they're not outlandish names. They're two managers that have done very well when they've been in the Tottenham hot seat, and I think they would handle the pressure of this situation that they're currently in. Robbie Keane would understand it, of course he would, and doing very well. It's not like he's out in the wilderness. He's been very successful abroad. So they're three names already that I think could come in and certainly galvanise the playing squad. And I mean, what a game to have next in the
it always
in the
happens,
Premier League.
Doesn't
It does. And I think that's what you're certainly going to need. You're going to need to show some serious passion. But ultimately, no matter what we think, the club have to make a decision on a manager to come in and keep them in the Premier League. That is all you've got to think about. It'd be catastrophic for Tottenham to be relegated, and it's about, and that's why they've acted with the sacking of Thomas Frank, because I think they do understand the position that they're in.
Not just the North London derby, by the way, on the 22nd of February, but look into March. Fulham away, Palace at home, London derbies, Liverpool away, Nottingham Forest at home on the 22nd of March. My goodness, I mean, for wherever who comes in, I mean, they'll need to try and get the spirit and the character out of the players, because those are tough, potentially really attritional games. Just want to talk about Thomas Frank briefly. Only 3 players have come out publicly to thank him and wish him well. What do you think that says?
That he probably didn't have the best relationship with them. That's pretty obvious.
Why? I mean, he's a very.
I think right from
medium like him. He does well with the media. He's charming. He's a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's too nice.
Right.
He's far too nice, and I think straight away that fit felt as if, basically the cool kids didn't like him. It was as simple as that. His playing style, his manner, and what he was like, and not disciplining and taking the captaincy off Romero when it's pretty obvious that would be the right thing to do, and to make a bit of a statement to the players as well, that you are certainly in charge. And I think Tottenham as a club, anyway, I think every fan base identifies with their club of what they think that they want to see on the pitch and feel they should see. And I think they need somebody that's a bit of a maverick. I think that's when they've always been at their best. And Thomas Frank isn't that. He's a very good coach. He's clearly a lovely guy. He conducts himself in the right manner. And ultimately that felt too boring for Tottenham.
Yeah, someone with real authority that can really kind of command in.
And he was trying to completely change the way they played.
Yeah.
With the same playing staff.
So do you feel that this job was always too big for Thomas Frank.
It was always going to be really difficult, and I think you can see he really struggled. And I think clearly we saw it with Graham Potter at Chelsea, and we've seen it many times over the years. And sometimes the minute you walk through the door and you address the players in the first 2 or 3 weeks, as players sometimes we go, not for us.
You've
don't like that playing style. Of course, we'll talk about the playing. If it's successful, you go along with it. But you might go.
You get a sense that early, though, really, with the coach. You know, whether this is going to
of course,
stick in the dynamic with the dressing room.
Usually, yes. Usually, you get that feeling. Again, if the playing style isn't as you would want as players, but who are we to even have a decision on it? But if you don't, then it's about what the manager's like as a character, how he is with the players. It was so obvious so early on that they just weren't. They weren't with him.
Yeah.
And if you can't, so much of Premier League management isn't just the coaching. It's who's going to follow me, who is going to follow me, and come with me on this journey in the way that I want the team to play. And they just didn't follow him.
Well, talking of character.